Have you ever had your faith put to the test? The Bible tells us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. To have faith is to have hope and to believe in something that you have not yet seen. I have faith that there can be a viable future for the Christian Democratic Party. This faith has kept my wife Wendy and me here in Sydney, even though we have seen no worldly evidence that such a future exists for the CDP. Today, once again, the party's warring factions were fighting amongst themselves in a secular court. Their bitter dispute has brought the organisation to the brink. The judge, Justice Rain, called it a squabble that risks the party's financial viability. This was just the latest in a series of court appearances that have occurred over past months. Many people have been asking me for an update on this legal dispute, and I've been reluctant to provide one for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm not a party to the legal proceedings. This is not my fight. I'm not suing anybody. Secondly, I firmly believe that it is the leaders of these warring factions who owe an explanation to our party's members and donors about why their dispute should threaten the CDP's existence. I feel you ought to be made aware of the developments that have occurred over the past few weeks and months, and again today. Several months ago, the party's independent receiver wrote to party members calling for nominations for the election of a new board. Given the party's current intractable disputes, the receiver proposed that every member of the party should have a say in that election, which was going to be conducted by a postal vote. This clearly did not suit the factional leaders who have now been fighting for more than a month in a secular court to have the receiver's plan for an all-member vote overturned. Instead, the factional leaders have called for the vote to be limited to delegates from branches. However, these warring factions cannot come to an agreement on the number of branches eligible to send delegates to an AGM to elect a new board. Despite being repeatedly ordered by Justice Rain to reach an agreement, the warring factions turned up in court yet again this morning without an agreement. Because neither side will make concessions, the case has now been scheduled to be heard by yet another judge next Monday, December 13, in the New South Wales Supreme Court. Meanwhile, this constant legal squabbling is threatening our party's very existence. Last week it was revealed in the court that the party's debts now exceed $400,000. If this legal dispute continues, the party faces the very real threat of insolvency. That would spell the end of the Christian Democratic Party. It would be a stain on Reverend Niles' reputation, to say nothing of the other leaders of the warring factions. I cannot tell you how much it grieves me as a Christian to see this ungodly fighting carried out under Christ's banner. This is not how Christians should behave. It is not how disputes should be settled amongst believers. Despite all this, I still have faith that there can be a viable future for the Christian Democratic Party. I still believe that together we can raise a strong voice for faith, life and family in our nation's parliaments. That's why I remain committed against all worldly wisdom to staying the course and seeing this process through. I can't guarantee the future, but I know the one who can. So please join me in praying even more fervently that God would put an end to this ungodly behaviour. Pray that the legal fights would end. Pray that God would deliver a viable future for this much needed movement in our nation. God bless you. Thanks so much.